My name is Mary Clementine. I'm 11 and I live in Paris. It's such a beautiful city that it makes me want to draw it, but the Notre Dame Cathedral is a bit hard to begin with. My drawing kit is great, and I found the ideal subject to begin with, the Statue of Liberty, because there's one in Paris too. It's not as big as the one in New York, but it's exactly the same. It's a model of the one the French people gave to the Americans. During the school term, I've got a way of pretending I'm on holidays. What I do is walk along the banks of the Seine every time the weather's fine. It's so peaceful there, and I visit my parents. His name is Guy Louis. His barge is tied up near the Eiffel Tower, and it's like a floating farm. There's a patch of grass with rabbits hopping about, and there's even a sort of farmyard with all kinds of animals. Guy Louis reminds me of Noah, you know, with his ark. When we pass by the Trocadero, I still don't feel relaxed. But I feel better by the time that we get to the Arc de Triomphe. We've sort of made friends. That's the Grand Palais. I ask Guy Louis to drop me off, and I leave him with his boa constrictor. This afternoon, my friend Mary and I are going to the Tuileries Gardens, which is one of the most famous parks in Paris. It's what you call a French-style garden, and it was laid out by a landscape designer named Le Nôtre. The paths are so wide, you can even go for pony rides. There's a puppet theater, too, that I really love. When I was little, my mother used to bring me here every week. Now, I come because I'd like to try and do a puppet show myself. It would be so exciting. I've made up my mind. I'm going to buy my first puppet today. I know a wonderful toy store where I'm sure I'll be able to find just what I need. This is the Pompidou Center fountain. It's a fantasia of colors and strange machines, and it was made by two sculptors, Jean Tinguely and Nicky de Saint-Phal. There's a special game I play here. I walk along the edges and try not to get wet by the water sprays. I'm telling you, it's really acrobatic. The Pompidou Center looks like a big factory, but it's really a modern art museum. There's even a special library for children there that I go to. And on the forecourt out in front, there's always lots of street performers. Place des Victoires is one of Paris's fashion centers. Right near there is the Galerie Vivienne passage, where I've got to call in this morning. There are lots of covered passages like this in Paris. They have glass roofs and so much character. When you walk through them, it's as if you go back in time. Si Tu Veux is my favorite toy store. Sometimes I stay the whole afternoon there. The trouble is, though, that I spend too much money, so Mama has cut my allowance. Right by the door, there are some old teddy bears. They're not for sale, but I bet they've got lots of stories to tell. Every night, once the store has closed, they must have all sorts of fun. I wish I was a little mouse so that I could see all that. Today, I've got to choose a costume. In 2 weeks' time, we're having a big family reunion. All of my cousins will be there, and all the children have to wear costumes. It's going to be really neat. They sure have got a lot to choose from. The best thing is to try them on. What about a ladybug? Don't you think it's pretty? Or a clown. I'm really good at pulling faces. Or a duchess. Or a devil. Yes, that's it. My mother always says I'm a little devil. Well, that's one job out of the way. The day is off to a good start. All we need to do is choose a place for our family reunion. There will be over 200 of us, so we're going to need a lot of room. But Mama and I have found a great restaurant just on the outside of Paris. It's a dream. In the middle of the floor, there's a big merry-go-round that's over 100 years old. It's the most beautiful merry-go-round I've ever seen. I can't resist trying it out. I just know our party's going to be fabulous. Between every course, we'll be able to ride on the merry-go-round. My cousin Pauline is going to love this place. When we were little, we lived together and we did all sorts of things. I can't wait to see her again. From the terrace of the restaurant, you get a view of La Défense. It's a really nice area. It looks like Lower Manhattan, but I wouldn't like to work there. I prefer the old places of Paris, like the Rue de l'Ancienne Comédie, for instance. These paving stones were here in 1789 when the revolutionaries stormed through Paris. They've been touched by millions of feet. Right by here is one of the most famous cafe restaurants in Paris. It's called the Procop. I love coming here to have tea with Mama. It's like stepping into a time machine. So many things have happened here. For example, on the table over there, Voltaire wrote some of his famous books. And speaking of Voltaire's table, I've just noticed something on it. It's so pretty. Maybe I could draw it. It must belong to someone who's come here for tea like us. It's a paper theater, like the ones they used to make in the 19th century. You can move the little figures around and act whole plays by imitating the different voices. It's even more magical than a marionette theater. And English people even do Shakespeare's like that. But you need to be really talented to do the voices of all the characters. I know I'm going to be thinking about the paper theater for a long time. Pigalle is another picturesque area of Paris, but it's not really a place for children. I only go there to catch the little train that takes you up to Montmartre. It's a really nice ride, and there are lots of things to see. Old windmills like the Moulin de la Galette, and old taverns like the one which is called Le Lapin Agile and used to be a favorite haunt for the painter Maurice Utrillo. He had a drinking problem, and he probably felt better when he was near the vineyard of Montmartre. Every year, they still pick grapes here and make wine from them. It's a big celebration. There are always a lot of painters and sketchers on the Place du Tertre. Maybe I'll be able to ask one of them to give me some tips about the sketch I did. And if I get good at drawing, maybe I could come here and sell my sketches to earn some pocket money. Then I could buy some more marionettes, or a paper theater. I've met a really nice lady who says she'll tell me how to improve my drawing technique. She says my sketches are all right, but that I need a lot more practice, and that I should go to a drawing class. You get the best view of Paris from the steps in front of the Sacred Heart Church. Today the whole city is bathed in light. It's so beautiful. It makes me want to become a famous painter or an actress. Or maybe I'll be both, because after all, I live in the most beautiful city in the world, the city where dreams come true.